tons of credit to Missouri. I was horrible. As a coach, getting these guys prepared, I didn't do a very good job. They out-toughed us. They out-fought us. They took our ball. They out-executed us. Kobe was no doubt the best player on the floor again in this game. 31 and 8, 8 assists. Just no excuse. I've got to be better. I've got to get these guys prepared better. I thought we had a great week of preparation. I was excited and had very little carryover. And it's got a lot of time before January 4th to clean a lot of stuff up in terms of the execution on the offensive side, which is leading to very bad defense. And probably the worst defense that any of my teams have ever played. And just mistake after mistake after mistake, and we'll have to look very, very hard at trying to make some changes on that side. But you can't take 31 threes and win, that's pretty tough pill to swallow. And I love shooting threes, but they've got to be out of a rhythm, and we're making one pass and shooting it, and not trying to run anything and execute anything. And but Missouri deserves all the credit, and especially Kobe was terrific, and then Hodge got loose in transition in the first half.
Terrence, question for Terrence. Terrence, just how do you explain the disconnect between two great wins that you've had so far in the last couple of performances?
We were tough in those two games. We weren't really, and we were together. We wasn't arguing with each other like during the game or anything. That's the big difference that I've seen between those two games and this one.
So what do you think has changed that lens of arguing or disconnecting?
If I knew, I'd tell you. I honestly don't know what led to that, but we're going to get it fixed.
And when you kind of see those issues, what is kind of the approach to the next step for you guys? If you're the guy to kind of fix that in the locker room.
Say it again?
I guess then what's kind of the next step or process for you to kind of look for and try to address and fix those issues in the future?
I got to be a better leader. I haven't led the team as I should, and that's something I got to fix and evaluate over break and be better for my team.
What are you seeing offensively when things aren't getting run as maybe you would hope in terms of running offense?
We just got to execute. If coach calls a play or tells us to do something, we got to do it. We haven't been executing offense. It's been stagnant. It's been a lot of isolation ball. And we just got to get better with just running offense, and it's the stuff we practice.
What do you guys want to be able to do offensively? What is the goal of what you're trying to execute out there that's not getting done?
Just make more than one pass, get it three sides, reverse the ball, and just play together. Make the ball have energy, and when it got energy, we'll make shots.
What do you think went wrong? I know Coach talked about the offensive side leading the defense. What do you think went wrong defensively?
We messed up a lot of switches, especially the flares. We just got to be locked in on defense. We did a good job in practice, but we just got to execute it during the game. We just got to be better.
With those switches, I mean, obviously switching can be really disruptive when it's going well, but like, how do you get it to that level? Because obviously we've seen it maybe work the other way in a couple games too.
Just got to talk and communicate. Come together on the switch. That's about it. We just had a lot of miscues. One guy not being on the same page, and we just got to lock in and do what we do.
Terrence, how are you handling the inconsistencies, knowing you guys have shown you can be really good, and yet these kind of games where you guys struggle?
It's tough because I know we can be a really good team, and we haven't shown that recently. Coach, he said a lot of it's on him, but it's us too. We're the ones going out there and play, and and it starts with me being one of the leaders on the team, and I gotta get the team better and ready to play.
Terrence, what's the challenge of having a team that's new together, going through this? What's the challenge of you as a leader and just as players kind of dealing with these challenges?
We just gotta still figure out each other. We gotta do like I said, it's my fault. We're gonna do a lot more bonding together, picking each other's brains and just coming together more as a team. So we got a long season ahead of us, and we're gonna turn it around.
Okay, last question for Terrence, we have it.
That you guys are going home now. What's important when you guys go home and then when you come back together next week?
When we go home, we can't forget that we play basketball for Illinois, so we got to get in the gym, recover. And same thing, right when we get back Monday, it's right back to work. I'll be working the whole break, and I'm going to make sure my team is working the whole break, but it's no days off. We got a long season. We got to make a big run in the Big Ten conference.
Okay, thanks, Terrence. We continue for Coach.
Coach, with the half-court offense, what is the goal and what's preventing you from reaching that goal in the half-court?
He just said it. He just said it. We can talk about third side. We can talk about reversals. We can talk about execution. It's ultimately on me, and tonight it went beyond that. Okay, and I don't have this group doesn't have my footprint yet. Toughness. If you ask anybody in this league or the Big Ten about what I am, it's toughness. And how many times we got our ball taken tonight? Just got our ball taken. And it's toughness to be able to execute, and it's toughness and discipline to be able to guard. And he said it. He knows everything that I've been saying. He just told you. And yet, I don't have them doing that yet. And getting the ball to the third side. It doesn't matter what we run. It doesn't matter. You can run stack sets, you can run spread, you can run 5 outs, you can run whatever you want to run. And until I get them to execute it, it leads to a lot of really, really bad shots, which lead to a lot of offensive problems in transition. And then it multiplies because it puts pressure on your half-court defense. And it is my job to get them to do that solely. You heard him. He knows what it is. Not hard.
Is switching every screen something you're going to have to go back with your guys and look at going forward? Is this what we're going to do?
Sure. I think everything's on the table. I'll tell you what the defensive side has caused. It's caused lack of accountability. And we faced the two of the best point guards in the country, and Clark and Tiger. Shoot, you want to put Marcus Carr in there? You want to put, I don't know, the kid at Iowa State? We faced 4 of the best point guards in the country. And we faced maybe the best player in the country in Jaquez. And we didn't have any problem in those games. And yet, the accountability piece is something that tonight we just I don't have an excuse. We didn't communicate them. They knew exactly what we were doing on flares. Guys come in the game and see it and not execute it. And again, part of that is youth. Coming in or seeing something for the first time, and then you slip it, and we don't switch with Dane, and Dane jumps out on a switch, and it's just the discipline of people doing your job, and maybe that is too complicated with switching. So I don't know. We'll see.
Coach, to that point, given the wins against Texas, given the talent that you've played against and that your team's faced, and the execution they have shown, does it make it more frustrating to see your team kind of bounce back from playing really well and then having these tough goes? Does it make it even more frustrating given the fact that they can't play at such a high level?
Sure, that's a direct reflection on me. That's absolutely knowing that we can beat anybody in the country, absolutely. When we play the right way and we play But getting this group tough enough and getting this group disciplined enough, that is a direct reflection on the guy sitting right here talking to you right now. And I self-reflect a lot, and there's no excuse for that.
Right. When you guys are good, it seems like Coleman is kind of the connector of it all, offensively, defensively. Obviously not a great performance tonight. What do you need from him? What are you seeing from him right now?
Not playing very well. I know that's not just, 6 turnovers, no assist. And it's got to be he's a guy who's very talented. He has a lot of ability. We need him shooting shots when he's open. When he's not, we need him passing the ball and not necessarily driving it. That's not his strength. That's what got him in trouble last year. And he's proven last year he could be a lockdown defender. We need him to lead on that side as a veteran. But again, right now there's very little accountability on that side of the ball.
Dennis Gates said that he thought that Kansas used Missouri's defensive eagerness against them in that game, and they tried to work on some of that. Did you notice any changes defensively from what you saw when you watched tape there? It seemed like they were maybe a little more, not reserved, but not as out in front of themselves aggressively.
Yeah, Kansas one is really good, and they're really old, and they got a great point guard, and they just Kansas wasn't overly complicated. Kansas ran 5 up and played in the slots, and then sprayed it, and then ran really, really hard in transition. We didn't get enough stops to ever be able to run in transition. I think we got the ball to the mouth of the rim in the second half a bunch. But I thought it was the same. We didn't play in the pockets very well. We were trying to early, but no, I thought it was similar.
Greg, what do you do with the younger guys to help them go through this process? Dennis even mentioned a sports psychologist that he's been using with his. How do you handle that with these guys?
Oh, it's a process. I tell everybody, you've got to go. They've never gone through adversity. They've been told they're great, the greatest things in sliced bread. I love our freshmen; they're really good. But you got to go through it. And when you come out of it, you're always better on the other side. But you got to go through it, and they don't know even what they're going through sometimes. They just know it doesn't feel right, and it's not easy. And as point guards, Jaden and Sky, and there's a lot of accountability there at that position to lead and talk and communicate, and everything starts with you. And they're going to be fine. I got all the confidence in the world in them. Sincere, I got to keep on the court. Sincere represents everything that I'm trying to be about, and that's play hard and fight and tough and gritty and not give a damn and just go hoop. And, I can live with a mistake when you play as hard as he's playing. And then Ty's been really good. Ty's been giving us a ton. He competes. I didn't think he was great defensively tonight, but they got to go through it, Brad. They got to go through it. And you find out who you are when you look in the mirror when you're dealing with adversity. And our guys have always done that. I've always played freshman. And, Georgie to Trent to Adam to, Kofi and they all went through it. Io sat in my office one day after the Ohio State game in Chicago and cried because he was going through it. And you just gotta talk with him. You gotta communicate with him and tell him you love him, and yet coach him to get better.
Talk about getting your group tough enough over the next couple of weeks. As a coach, how do you try to do that before conference?
Practice, accountability, practice, consequences. You can't win doing what we're doing. I hope they get to see that. There's no better. There's nothing better than getting your butt smacked as a teacher to learn what you've got to do. And like I said, we were really good in practice. I was hoping we'd kind of snapping out of it because of practice, but again, We see that different colored jersey and didn't have it.
Brad, with so many young guys and even new guys on this team, you said publicly there were going to be stumbles. But is it a shock to you that 3 days before Christmas, your coaching effort?
No, because adversity kicks in. That's adversity. One of the things that zaps you with adversity, unless you're like sincere, sincere just hoops, man. Is you deal with it and you get down. So it's hard to build that energy back up. And you got to, the thing that happens when you're young is it's always about you. Your mood. You're not doing this. You're not making a shot, or you're not executing this, instead of us. So that's the hardest part about freshmen, and why nobody wants them anymore. Nobody wants freshmen. Everybody going to the portal to do what Missouri's done, get old men, that have been through it. And because freshmen, it's always, okay, how do I get better? How am I not making shots? Or, man, I got to learn this pick and roll coverage, or this or that, or so it's about them. And deep down, they're still about us, but their internal thoughts are about, how do I get better? And so, Trent Frazier, as a senior, junior, sophomore, after that first year, it was about helping us win. They didn't care about anything else. And there's a big difference there in that process.
Terrence talks about working on that togetherness, that cohesion. What, if any, role do you, at this point, maybe step in and try to help usher in some of that cohesion? I know you're talking about if you lead.
I'm leading. I'm going to lead. There's no doubt. They need it. They need my help. And I haven't been very good. I've got to do a better job. And, I've got to get us out of this. I've got to get us tougher. I have to get us tougher. If we aren't tougher, we're not going to win. We have to be tougher and more disciplined. You can't win at the college game without toughness. Soft teams don't ever win. And I've not been good at that.
You've had a couple of disappointments here that have been figured out. Anything you can draw upon that you did then that clicked?
Yeah, most of the time we've been pretty screwed up coming into this game. It's just the way it's been. I don't know why. The Christmas break, the finals, we've been a train wreck in this game, really all but maybe last year. We weren't great last year. We were dealing with all Kofi's suspensions but Curbelo out, so we've pretty much been a train wreck. And I don't know why. I don't know if it has to do with finals or just coming off 2 Big Ten games. We've played in a lot of big games. That I think has taken a little bit of a toll on this team from a mental standpoint and energy standpoint. But I was hoping to hope we could manage to get through this. We didn't. But we'll take some lessons. We'll refine some things. We got practice time to try to clean it up and get better and build some confidence.
This is the last question. What do you think this group is chemistry-wise as you go into this break?
Well, I love them as people. And and chemistry, I think, is really good. I really do. I've had worse, no doubt about that. But I think the one thing we've got to do is learn to trust. And trust is the last part of being a really good team. And again, a lot of new faces, but you have to trust what we're doing. You have to trust your teammate that he's going to drive it and kick it to me for a 3, so I'm ready. And he's going to put it on the spot. And you got to trust that he's going to set this screen and he's going to roll every single time. And trust is the one thing that we don't have. Everybody's trying to do their deal. And we can do it in practice. But do we trust each other? And right now, no, we don't trust enough. We don't love each other enough to trust them to make the pass, to go set the screen. What did we have tonight? Assist. 10. They had 23. 10 assists. We had 9 the other night, and that's not playing right. I get it. We're going to be in some isolation. We got a great isolation player. Matthew Meyer is one of the best isolation players in college basketball. Him and Jaime are 2 of the best. And Matt passes it, but we don't have, we can do it on the third side when we've made the defense move and maybe make a mistake so we get a layup. And trust is it. And it's my job to get it out of them. I love this team. I love the personalities on this team. I love the character of this team. If there's not one of you that wouldn't want those young men to date your daughters, they're terrific human beings. And yet, you know, we got to trust.
That's just, sorry, Derek, that's just a process of the portal and building new chemistry. I mean, is that fair?
You can blame it on whatever you want. It's a new, I mean, it's the world we're in, so it's you know, we used to never see these problems, you know, but, you know, very rare, because you had guys waited their turn, and freshmen became sophomores, and sophomores became juniors, and you know, those weren't issues we had last year, because we were old and we had a bunch of veterans who'd been in the program. But again, that's where I'll get us better. Merry Christmas, everybody.